Ready? Okay. Mayor, I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Elmwood Park Mayor and Council for July 17th, 2025 to order at 7:02 p.m. On roll call, we have Council Members Fasolo,
Here.
Golobeck,
Here.
Sampson,
Present.
Sheridan,
Here.
Troisi,
Here.
Council President Pellegrin,
Here.
Mayor Coletti.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Shanae. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How's everybody doing out there? That's it? Can you imagine having this meeting without air conditioning?
No.
What did they do 100 years ago? They had to have the meetings. Thank God for modern technology, right? Okay, we have a very interesting evening. We will be promoting 2 officers tonight. It's always a great thing. But first, we must do our due diligence and stand for our flag and prayer. Oh God, our Father, we ask you to bless our meetings, which we entrust to your fatherly care and protection. Please remove all selfishness and prejudice from our hearts and implant therein a keen sense of justice and a greater love for you and our neighbors. Guide us in our deliberations so that our decisions will always please you and bring you peace and happiness to our community. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Whereas Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of the State of New Jersey require at the commencement of every meeting a statement of compliance be read by the presiding officer. Now, therefore, be advised that the meeting requirements for this meeting have been met, and by publishing a special notice in the Herald News, in the Record, and by posting such notice in the office of the Borough Clerk, as well as in a public place within the municipal building. Also, by notifying interested citizens. Said notice was posted and transmitted on January 3rd, 2025, and published on January 8th, 2025.
First up, we have approval of minutes. We have the May 1st, 2025 work session, the May 1st, 2025 executive session, May 15th, 2025 regular meeting, and May 15th, 2025 executive session.
May I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
First by Council President Pellegrin, second by Councilman Fasolo. On roll call, we have Council Members Fasolo,
Yes.
Golobeck,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Troisi,
Yes.
Council President Pellegrin.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, I will call up Linda Colombini, the President of the Homeowners Association, to make a presentation. You gotta turn the mic
Damn.
on.
Don't you get tired of coming here? Here we go. This woman is here like 3-4 times a year, donating money to great causes. And let's give her up. Lynn, right now.
It's not me giving the money, it's all of us up here. And we're very proud, aren't we all very proud today to present you with this check in the amount of $2,500 to begin putting together the community garden.
Thank you so much.
When you gave me a presentation last month at our meeting, I was so overwhelmed. I couldn't believe the people that attended, young and old, and youngsters in their 20s, that everybody's so interested in this, and it's really going to be for help bring our community together, and it's just a beautiful thing.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It really is exactly what we needed so that we can start breaking ground, and we appreciate it so much, Linda.
We all
Thank you.
work very hard for it, all of us. You're welcome. Anybody Hey, Mayor, you want to buzz my council?
Yes, I do. When should we expect you again this year?
Soon.
Soon?
Soon, yes.
And the current meeting and the homeowners.
Okay. Next, Mayor, we have two standalone resolutions, and through you, I will read them by title only. First, we have Resolution R-228-25, promotion to Captain Keith Hartman.
May I have a motion on the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
First by Council President Pellegrin, second by Councilman Fasolo. On roll call, we have Council members Fasolo,
Yes.
Golubek,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Choisey,
Yes.
Council President Pellegrin.
Yes.
Motion carries. At this time, I would like to call up Captain Keith Hartman alongside his family, who will be sworn in by Mayor Coletti alongside Police Chief Michael Foligno and Police Commissioner Council President Lorraine Pellegrin.
Okay, you've been through this before, right? These young folk haven't, though. It's all new to them. Lovely family, you know? Okay. State your- repeat. I
I, Keith Hartman,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments
and to the governments
established
established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority
under the authority
of the people,
of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
and justly perform
all the duties
all the duties
of the office of
of the office of
captain,
captain
according to the best of my ability,
according to the best of my ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Separate resolution.
Congratulations. Okay. Next, we have Resolution R-229-25, promotion to Lieutenant William Woods.
May I have a motion on the resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
First by Councilman Fasolo, second by Council President Pellegrin. On roll call, we have Council members Fasolo,
Yes.
Golubek,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Choisey,
Yes.
Council President Pellegrin.
Yes.
Motion carries. At this time, I would like to call up Lieutenant William Woods alongside his family to be sworn in by Mayor Coletti alongside Police Chief Michael Foligno and Police Commissioner Council President Lorraine Pellegrin.
I think this promotion has come at the right time. I don't know if it'll be, that's for sure. God bless you. You did this before, right?
Yes.
Okay. I
I, William Woods,
do solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
that I will bear true faith
that I will bear true faith
and allegiance
and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments
and to the governments
established
established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state
and in the state
under the authority
under the authority
of the people,
of the people,
and that I will faithfully,
and that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly
and justly
perform all the duties
perform all the duties
of the office of
of the office of
lieutenant
lieutenant
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Lieutenant. Watch this. You're welcome. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to turn the meeting back over to Mike Foligno.
Thank you, Mayor. Congratulations, guys, on your well-deserved promotions. If you know these two officers, they work very hard, very diligently. Captain Hartman actually is in law school right now, studying to be a lawyer, and becoming a captain at the same time. I think he has a good role model in me doing how many jobs now? So congratulations, Keith, well-deserved promotion. Lieutenant Woods, Billy has been serving in the role of patrol commander for the last several years, been doing a phenomenal job. He's taken on a role that's usually a captain's job, and he was the right pick for the position. He's done a fantastic job of getting the patrol division into a position where we really want it, out there serving the public the right way and keeping crime at bay. So congratulations on a job well done, and that's the reason why you're getting promoted, because you proved that you're the guy for the job. So congratulations, guys. I'm going to call Lieutenant Woods up to say a few words if you want to.
Bring it over, Mike.
Can you hear me? Good? Perfect. Just a few thank yous. Mayor Coletti, members of the council, thank you guys again for this opportunity. Your support for the police department is unparalleled, not only just for the police department, but the fire department, EMS as well, all first responders. So thank you guys. Chief Foligno, like he alluded to earlier, I've had the opportunity to work pretty much side by side with him over the past 5 years. It's been Chief, 5 years. I look up to him as a mentor, and as of late, an inspiration. So thank you for that. My parents, Gene and Lisa, you guys have been with me in my career. I started at 19 years old, and I'm still going, and I'm not going to stop. Just letting you guys know. So thank you for being there for me. Thank you. Thank you. My brother Gene got my back through everything, right, wrong, and different. He's always there for me. Thank you. My mother-in-law, Mary Jo, yeah, she has a full-time job watching my daughter Lillian, the daughter of 2 police officers. So thank you for all you do for us. Thank you. My cousin AJ, Deputy Chief Woods from the Patterson Fire Department, somebody who I looked up to when I started this career, who I'm currently chasing. And just to let you know, there's a lot more ranks in the police department than there's a fire department chief, all right? So, my wife Danielle, my daughter Lily. So what comes to mind when I speak to my wife is sacrifice. That's what comes to mind. There's a lot that we both sacrifice for me to be indebted into this job that I do through the police department. So thank you for that. I'd like to thank all the officers who I work with every day. I appreciate you guys. The support for me is overwhelming. You guys hold me accountable. You guys keep me sharp. You guys want me to answer those hard questions, even though they're at 3 a.m. in the middle of the night and I'm half asleep. Thank you guys for all that. That's it. Have a good rest of the night. Thank you.
Captain Hartman, come on up and talk to your fellow officers.
Still on? There we go. Let's start with Chief. Thank you for the opportunity and believing in me that I'm capable of holding this position. I appreciate that. Mayor and Council, your devotion to the police department doesn't go unnoticed. You guys are always there to help us out. Tough, good times, bad times. We appreciate that. All the officers notice that. Thank you. To my family, of all things, let's start with my wife. It's not the easiest. She's the backbone to everything in between work, my studies. She handles all the times I'm not home. It's really being married to the job, and then I decided to take it to a whole new level, and she's taken on so many extra roles. I wouldn't be able to be here if it wasn't for her. My 2 children, you saw them. One was making little faces up there. He's the best. They're my motivation. They're my strength. They're the reasons. Overall, they're my why. They're why I put all this time in, all this extra work in. Be a role model to them and show them that you know, if you work hard enough, you can achieve things in life. To my coworkers, I got some from the past, some that I've worked with for years, some that are just getting on the job. My experiences that I've learned from you guys, I plan on taking on to my next role. I mean, you guys are some of the finest men and women that I've worked with, and realistically, I probably see you guys more than I see my family sometimes. Lieutenant Vic will vouch for that. And this is an honor. I really do appreciate it, and I won't let you guys down.
Mayor, turn it back over. Council comments. We'll start off with Mr. Fasolo.
Thank you, Mayor. Just from the words that both of you spoke, you could tell what kind of upstanding men you guys both are. It's truly deserved, these promotions. I've been a councilman for almost 6 years now, and seeing all of you, all the officers out there in the community, shows what a tight-knit community we have and an even better police force. So it's a testament to your hard work and your dedication. So thank you both for all that you do for our community. Good luck and God bless.
Thank you, Mr. Fasolo. Mr. Golombek.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I'd like to thank our chief for his continued steady leadership of the department. Most chiefs do 2 or 3 years, pad their pension, and call it a day. Our chief has been here for a long time and doesn't look like he's heading anywhere. So I sincerely appreciate your leadership. I want to thank the current officers here, the retired officers, the officers from other communities. Tremendous show of support. I think we have half of our department here. That's incredible. To now Captain Hartman and Lieutenant Woods, congratulations, best wishes, and good luck to you as you continue to ascend through your careers. All the best. Thank you.
Mr. Sampson.
Captain Hartman, Lieutenant Woods, through the words of the chief and just the support of your men here, I mean, your office, all your officers here. Look at the room, like they said, it's half the job is here. So thank you for your service, your continued dedication. I know you won't let us down. And be safe out there and continue to lead this department in a forward direction. Thank you and Godspeed.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Sheridan.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to say congratulations to Captain and Lieutenant. I'd also like to point out the families. Thank you for letting them go and achieve to where they are today. Good luck, God bless, and stay safe.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Troisi.
So, congratulations to Captain Hartman and Lieutenant Woods on achieving your new rank. I know that in order to do that, it takes a lot of training, commitment, dedication, probably a lot of really good decisions, right? So I want to acknowledge that and thank you for your service here in Elma Park, and always remain safe. I would also like to thank Linda Colombini and the Homeowners Association for their very generous donation to the community garden. For those who don't know, the community garden will be located in the Birchwood section of town at the little piece of triangle land at Cole, Birchwood, and Marginal. So we are excited about that, and we look forward to creating a space where people of all generations can come together, one that supports the ecosystem. We plan to attract the birds, the bees, the butterflies, the hummingbirds, and all the good things that will pollinate the flowers and the vegetables. So thank you again, Linda.
Council President Pellegrin.
Yes, good evening, everyone. Congratulations, Captain Hartman and Lieutenant Woods, on your well-deserved promotions tonight. Wishing you both continued success in your new roles. Stay safe always. And I just want you to both know how much you're so appreciated for all that you do. And the whole team of police officers here tonight, they put the effort that you, ladies and gentlemen, put in is extraordinary. We see it on a daily basis. We had a department head meeting today, and everybody was saying the same thing. You really, truly care. It's just not a job for all of you. It's who you are, and it's evident in all that you do. And we can't say it enough times, how blessed we are to have each and every one of you serving our community and keeping us safe each and every day. So I wish you continued success, and to all of you, thank you, thank you, thank you for all you do for our community. And Chief Foligno, you're the prime example of what a leader is. And through you, that's why we have such a wonderful force here tonight, police force tonight. So thank you again. Godspeed and good luck with all you do. Thank you.
Well, this really depicts what this United States is all about. Established 250 years ago, incentive to move on in life, the American dream, the family foundation. And you look at any business or organization like this, there's always the aspect of advancement. And that's the great part of our United States, this government. If you have it in you to give it all you got, you can advance. Tonight is a perfect example of these two gentlemen who've worked very hard, obviously, to achieve their positions tonight. But it started years back with that commitment, and then, which is displayed here this evening, is the family structure. Gentlemen, I think it's safe to say, and you've said it yourselves, that if it wasn't for your family and the structure, you'd never be here right now. Or you might be serving time somewhere. My point is that it's a united goal by your family, yourselves, and the commitment. And tonight displays, it personifies the aspect of moving up in life, and congratulations to yous all. Yeah, go. Mike, you good? We're going to take a recess so that family can take some pictures, maybe with some of the council people, and we'll return very shortly.
Don't listen to her.
Okay, Mayor, I would like to reestablish a quorum for the regular meeting of the Elmwood Park Mayor and Council for July 17, 2025. On roll call, we have council members Fasolo,
Here.
Golobeck,
Here.
Sampson,
Present.
Sheridan. Here. Troisi. Here. Council President Pellegrin.
Here.
Mayor Coletti.
Here.
We have reestablished a quorum. Moving on through our agenda, we have ordinances on first reading. We have Resolution R-230-25, introduce ordinance number 25-19 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending section 27-3.1B, refuse containers and collection related to garbage receptacle volume and weight, be passed and adopted on first reading. And be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, August 21st, 2025, at 7:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as same can be heard, at which time any person interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be and she is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law.
Our attorney, would you be so kind to break this down for us?
Thank you, Mayor. So this is just a minor change. As you recall, last year we made some updates to the refuse collection and garbage collection ordinance regarding receptacles. And at that time, we had decided to take out the weight and volume restrictions that were in there. You subsequently entered into a contract with the garbage truck vendor, which required pound and volume limitations on those, and this just matches that up with the contract.
Thank you. May I have a motion on the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
First by Council President Pellegrin, second by Councilman Sampson. On roll call, we have council members Fasolo,
Yes.
Golobeck,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Troisi.
Yes.
Council President Pellegrin.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have Resolution R-231-25, introduce ordinance number 25-20 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance adopting Borough Code Chapter 35, portable toilets, to address portable toilet use, be passed and adopted on first reading. And be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, April 21st, 2025, at 7:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as same can be heard, at which time any persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be and she is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law.
Mr. Foligno.
Mayor, we had a situation where a resident was renting out their pool, for, which is against borough ordinance, and subsequently found that they had a porta-john in their driveway, so the people that were renting their pool didn't have to go into their house to use their toilet. So we had our attorney look into this and make some modifications to the ordinance or add things to it.
Thank you. May I have a motion on the ordinance?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
First by Councilman Fasolo, second by Councilman Golobeck. On roll call, we have council members Fasolo,
Yes.
Golobeck,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Troisi.
Yes.
Council President Pellegrin.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have Resolution R-232-25, introduce ordinance number 25-21 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance to amend the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park, New Jersey, amending the Borough Code and all general ordinances of the borough, more specifically Chapter 4, Licensing and Business Regulations, Section 4.7, clarifying application fees and license fees, clarifying types and numbers of licenses that may be issued, and Chapter 8, Cannabis Facilities and Establishments, Section 8.2, clarifying cannabis delivery service from local cannabis retailers, be passed and adopted on first reading, and be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, August 21st, 2025 at 7:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter, as same can be heard, at which time any person interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be and she is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law.
Mr. Foligno, would you like to make some comments on this?
Mayor, I think the primary reason for this amendment is to allow for delivery service in the borough for cannabis. If anybody else has any more that they want to add, Mayor.
I believe it also rescinds some licenses, and I'll just explain that to the residents out there that when the cannabis was originally legalized in the state of New Jersey, it was very confusing, even to the attorneys. They were getting conflicting reports, so it took a while for the actual laws to be understood by municipalities like ourselves. I think we were a little overzealous at the very beginning. We had something like 16 licenses, it might have even been 18. We realized that that was too much, and we rescinded some licenses in this ordinance. May I have a motion on the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, Mayor. I will be voting no on this ordinance. As everyone knows, marijuana has been legalized in the state of New Jersey, and municipalities can decide whether or not to allow it in their borders. We allowed it. We have revised this ordinance so many times, I've lost count. We've had discussions about the marijuana ordinance so many times, I've honestly lost count. The mayor references 16 to 18 licenses. I want to be clear, those are not 16 to 18 retail licenses where you could walk in and buy marijuana. That number is inclusive of distribution, manufacturing, and cultivation, which are warehouse-based type operations. In a time where most municipalities, or a lot of municipalities in New Jersey, are cash-starved, in a time where we have seen our municipal tax levy go up double digits 2 years in a row, I cannot fathom removing a tool on the books that could bring us revenue. Every transaction conducted within the borders of Elmwood Park is 2% to the Elmwood Park coffers, the budget, okay? We're eliminating a license today. Somebody will find a neighboring town that has a license, will be boxed out of Elmwood Park. It'll just move economic activity a couple of 100 feet, half a mile. We lose out on the money, but certain people get to show maybe some of the more conservative residents of Elmwood Park, and I mean that in terms of, ideologically, not politically, give them the red meat that we got rid of a license. We're not going to be Elmwood Pot. That's come up a lot in our meetings. We can't be Elmwood Pot. We did this ordinance for 4 years.
That's my quote.
Everyone was fine. The mayor now says we can't be Elmwood Pot. Oh my God. I think it's foolish. 2 years of double-digit tax increases, and we're removing a tool that could bring revenue to the borough. Thank you, Mayor.
Well, regarding the taxes, you should have thought of that 3 years ago, because what you're taxed today started 2 years back. Getting back to the cannabis situation. On Route 46, from River Drive to the Boulevard, on both sides, you're going to have 4 dispensaries. Within, a half a mile? You're going to have 4 dispensaries. On Bush's Lane, an area that's mixed residential and commercial, the residents were up in arms. There was 25 people here through the process of allowing a cultivator to take a building on Bush's Lane. The planning board denied it because it was in the zone. It was overturned by the appellate court. My point is that, to the councilman's point, the revenue's nice, and why should the town next to us get all of it and us none? However, it comes to a point where enough is enough. And in terms of the taxation aspect of it, at what price do you give up the opinion and the sanctuary of the citizen What makes this more difficult is the fact that it's still not accepted totally by everybody. So those people are going to have negative connotations about the product. So you're dealing with that too. We got it down to a nice level. We got income coming in.
If I may, Mayor, I just want to add that as you had indicated, there will be 4 dispensaries on Route 46 alone. I tend to feel that those businesses are going to cannibalize each other now because they're so close and they're so condensed that 4 of them are not going to survive, in my opinion, of course, and that we're risking that revenue because they're so condensed. And by reducing at least 1 license, we're making a move in the right direction. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? With that, may I have a motion on the ordinance?
Oh, we have a motion by Councilman Fasolo and second by Councilwoman Troisi.
I did a motion.
Who was that? Oh, Eric?
Yeah, I make a motion.
Discussion? Call the roll, please.
Okay, first by Councilman Sampson, second by Council President Pellegrin. On roll call, we have Councilmembers Fasolo,
No.
Golombek,
No.
Sampson,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Troisi,
Yes.
Council President Pellegrin.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have ordinances on second reading. We have Resolution R-233-25, introduce ordinance number 25-14 on second reading. Whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending Section 7-13.1, parking prohibited at all times on certain streets to establish a no parking zone on Miller Avenue, was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, June 12th, 2025, and that further consideration of this ordinance will be taken up at this meeting, and whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same, now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending Section 7-13.1, parking prohibited at all times on certain streets to establish a no parking zone on Miller Avenue, pass on final reading.
Motion to open to the public.
So move.
Second.
Anyone from the public here to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance alone? If not, I'll close the public portion. May I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
First by Council President Pellegrin, second by Councilman Fasolo. On roll call, we have Council members Fasolo,
Yes.
Golombek,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Troisi,
Yes.
Council President Pellegrin.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have Resolution R-234-25, introduce ordinance number 25-15 on second reading. Whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance adopting Borough Code Section 7-9.1 to 7-9.15 residential parking permit area to allow for the designation of residential parking areas on a trial basis was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, June 12th, 2025, and that further consideration of this ordinance will be taken up at this meeting, and whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance adopting Borough Code Section 7-9.1 to 7-9.15 residential parking permit area to allow for the designation of residential parking areas on a trial basis pass on final reading.
May I have a motion to open to the public?
So moved.
Second.
Anyone from the public here to speak on this ordinance alone? Hold on. And I want to limit your civil conversation or statement to 10 minutes. And we'll start with you, sir. You're next. Fill in the back. Name, address, please.
Push the button.
My name is John Gilmore. I live at 91 Orange Avenue, Elmwood Park. Good evening. I'm reading this statement on behalf of the concerned family member who lives at my residence in the Rosemont section. She's currently mobilized in the U.S. military and couldn't be here tonight. She's asked me to bring up her concerns regarding this parking ordinance. First, she'd like to get a clear answer. Will this parking permit require fees for our residents? Yes or no?
Yes, they are. In this ordinance as it sits right now.
Yeah, this proposal is not acceptable. It's really unfair to those folks who live in our area. The trial program should not start by charging the very residents it affects. If the goal is to test whether permit parking helps alleviate business-related overflow, the burden should not fall on the homeowners already dealing with alternate side rules and no parking anytime restrictions, especially on streets like Parkview Avenue, where the parking is limited or prohibited. This raises a serious concern. Has the council reviewed the existing parking restrictions on these particular streets? Some of these streets named in the proposal don't even allow parking, and it seems like parts of the plan are being implemented without a full understanding of the current conditions. And since no member of the council lives in the Rosemont section, I question how closely you evaluated on the ground reality. Before any cost is placed on residents, I have several questions. What other streets in Elmwood Park currently require paid residential permits, and what has the outcome been?
So, sir, just to recap, you're opposing the actual ordinance of sticker parking or the cost of it? Which is your complaint, I should say?
Or the cost of it?
The cost. As far as the structure of the ordinance, you have no problem with that?
Yeah, yes, I have a problem with that also.
Okay, you want to state what that problem is?
Well, we have no problem right now on our streets, and we shouldn't, we shouldn't
Okay.
have to have
So-
a permit to park on our own streets.
So what you're saying, leave well enough alone?
Yes.
Okay.
When has the town ever charged residents to park in front of their own homes? What will this permit cost us? Is it an annual permit? And how is that determined? And if revenue is collected, how will that be used?
Mr. Foligno, would you like to answer that part of it?
Mayor, I believe we structured it to be $25 for the first vehicle, $10 for any vehicle after that. Is it 25 and 20? And then the money collected is going towards signage, posts, and the stickers themselves, Mayor. That was what was discussed with the mayor and council.
Okay. How will guest parking work? Will there be limits and time restrictions for these guests? Will their residents have to contact the town every time somebody visits?
I believe that with the sticker, you won't have to contact. The hours are, yes.
So there's also a provision, if you read the draft ordinance that's up for tonight, for visitor permits to be distributed to those residents that have residential permits. And the visitor permit would not be at a cost.
Okay. So there's also been a serious lack of transparency. No mailers or flyers or formal notices were sent to the homes in that affected area. According to the borough response on Facebook, only 38 homes responded in favor of the plan. Out of approximately 135, included two family homes. That means 70% were either not surveyed or didn't support it. That's not a majority, that's barely a sample.
Mr. Foligno, do you want to respond to that?
Sorry. Lieutenant Victor Scott is in charge of traffic and operations. He sent me an email today explaining how his division handled this, and I will read the email to you verbatim, sir. As a follow-up to our discussion, I spoke with Officer Nicastro, who delivered these letters. She stated that she delivered a survey to every address from Florence Place to Sterling Street between Route 4 and Magnolia Street. She stated it took her several hours to complete this, and she also stated she was stopped by many residents to discuss the survey. I checked our CAD system, our computer-aided dispatch, and there's a computer-generated entry for each street. She stated that delivery started at 9:47 a.m. and ended at 14:13, which is 2:13 in the afternoon. And here is a breakdown of each of those cards. So we had a letter. I can pull the letter up and read it to you if you'd like, sir. And that was hand-delivered by a police officer to every residence from Route 4 to Magnolia, from Sterling Street to Florence Place. Would you like me to read the letter?
Yes, and what date, please?
I'm sorry?
What date, please, so we can check our right camera? Because we did not receive such a letter.
March 11th, 2025. Dear resident, the mayor and council are seeking your input on a proposed parking regulation for our community. A survey will soon be conducted for residents on the streets in the Rosemont section, specifically from Florence Place to Sterling Street, extended from Broadway to Magnolia Street / Ann Street. The purpose of this survey is to determine whether residents support the implementation of resident-only parking from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. 7 days a week. This proposal is intended to address concerns about non-residents, particularly patrons of nearby businesses along Broadway, using residential street parking and reducing availability for those who live in the area. Your opinion is important, and we encourage you to participate in the survey to ensure your voice is heard. The feedback collected will help guide any decision regarding parking regulations in your neighborhood. Please scan the QR code below to complete the survey by Wednesday, March 26, 2025. Thank you for your time and involvement in keeping our community a great place to live. Just for, a little more background on this, the borough, the police department was approached by a few residents about concerns about not being able to park in front of their own homes who live in that area, right? We didn't seek this out. This came to us. So in response to that resident's concern, we did this survey because we want to hear from the rest of the neighborhood.
So the
Now,
survey went to each home? Because
yes, each home.
I talked to my neighbors, that none of them have received it.
Okay. So anyway, out of all the letters that were delivered, 48 people responded to the survey. Now, we can't control who responds, right? I mean, we hope that everybody responds, but that didn't happen. So 48 of the 100 and something that were delivered, and we have police records on this, responded. Out of the 48, 38 said they were in favor of this program, this trial program, and 10 said they weren't. So unfortunately, that's the only sampling the mayor and council had to go by when making their decision. So when making their decision, it was an overwhelming majority that wanted this to be tried. And it's only a trial. It's only being tried for a year to see if it works. And I think their thought process was, let's run through each season, let's run through the holidays, let's run through the summer and see what type of a response we get from this. Does it help our residents that are asking for this, or does it make it worse? I don't know. So that's all. This isn't a conspiracy. This isn't out to hurt anyone. Again, the funds are to offset the cost of the signage. There's metal signs that are going to have to go on each block. There's posts, and then there's the actual stickers themselves, and then the guest passes. So taking that all into account, that's why the decision was made for a charge. And I understand what you're saying, are we taxing our people to park? No, we're not. We're just, in our mind, we're making it more convenient for our residents that live there. So unfortunately, some people see it differently. So that's the facts. Whether we agree or disagree, I'm just telling you what the facts are, sir. So
We were just thinking that, our section kind of gets screwed because, it's the only section that has to pay.
yeah. Oh, but if you live there, right? I mean, isn't it helping you? Like, don't people park in front of your home that patronize the businesses? I don't know.
Well, has a solution been talked to those businesses?
Yeah, there is no solution. We've tried numerous times to speak to one in particular. Unfortunately, none of those businesses have parking lots with the exception of 7-Eleven. And it's just a tough situation all the way around, so we're doing the best we think we can do to try to help, alleviate the parking issue for the people that live there that are complaining about cars parking in front of their homes and not having a place to park. So that's all I have to say on it.
And if I might add, when it comes to the planning board and those businesses, we're scrutinized as far as their employees parking on Route 4 or in their parking lots. We discourage that, and they sign accordingly to that. So we understand that it's a commercial residential area, and there's got to be a marriage. Now, we're here to referee, basically, and get the best solution and try and make everybody happy, but I can see that's not going to happen here. We will try, though. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you very much.
Anyone else care to speak on this subject and this subject alone? That gentleman in the back with that blue, nice shirt on.
Good evening, Council. Good evening, Mayor. My name is Irv Lucan. I'm the owner of the record store on Broadway. And I only found out about this ordinance today, so I apologize. I may not be as prepared as I should be had I had more time to really look into it. But a few thoughts that I had based on conversations with other people on Broadway. And we're just curious as to, we understand that it's a mixed zone there, and of course the residents are there, but we're concerned that to free up some parking, you're willing to put all the businesses on Broadway out of business. Now, if you think any of the businesses on Broadway can last a year without any customers, I don't understand what your thought process is. You have to understand, I came before the council. I had a business that wasn't going to have 1 million cars. I've been here 10 years, very happy, and no complaints. We don't have 1 million cars. But to have no parking, for a business, that's basically putting us out of business.
Well,
And I was given no notice that that would happen.
I'm sorry for interrupting you, but
Sure.
you have all of Broadway to park on.
I have 2 spots for 4 businesses. 2 spots. And some of those spots are taken up for an hour, 2 hours. Most of my customers are 15 minutes. But if they can't park, they can't park. There is no parking on Broadway. You come onto Broadway and you'll see there's 2 spots in front of me, 2 spots in front of the Exotic Pets, and there's 2 big businesses there. And as you go down the block, there's certainly not enough parking for any of the businesses if our people can't park for a short amount of time on the street. We could understand limiting the amount of time. We could understand things like that, but to completely cut us off from our customers arbitrarily, because this was in March, I'm hearing, and nobody came to me, nobody advised us. I got no notification in the mail. The owner of the building got no notification in the mail. We're just being blindsided by a second reading of an ordinance that will basically put out 10, 12 businesses. And before, we fall to complaints of, a resident or two who is unhappy that there's more parking on their street than there used to be, your job is to try and figure out a way. But being draconian and just saying, well, let's put all the businesses on Broadway out of business and they won't have a problem. I wonder where their guests are going to come. Where's Uber going to park? Where's Amazon going to park? Are the police going to go up and down the block, and every time somebody pulls over to spend 15 minutes in one of the houses? Do they need a parking pass, a guest pass? I just don't understand why it's so heavy-handed against people who are just trying to do a business. Now, I'm about to say something that might not be the right thing to say, but I just want to speak for my business. I understand that all the residents live here and vote for you folks, and I understand that priority, okay? But as a business person in Elmwood Park, does anybody here read the magazine 201?
The girl in the back.
Okay. I would just like to say that we have brought a lot of attention, positive attention, to Elmwood Park, because we have been written up time and time again for the things we do there and the famous people who come to my store to shop. Now, if you think they're going to come with no parking, it's not going to happen. We're not a detriment. I'm not talking about, and I don't want to mention any other business, it's not my business, but my business is an asset to the borough of Elmwood Park. I grew up here. I was born in Barnum Memorial Hospital, so I'm not a stranger to the area. And like I said, my business has been an asset. I came before this very council and promised that my business would be an asset, and 10 years later, I've gotten no complaints, and I've run the business exactly as I told the council I would. And to be blindsided by, well, we're just going to take all your parking away, it just doesn't seem fair.
Let me ask you, you had said before if some type of compromise on the timing, what would you propose?
Well, just like you don't want people parking on the block and going to New York, you know, there's got to be a reasonable amount of time. Uber doesn't spend 2 hours. My customers don't spend 2 hours. The nail people don't spend 2 hours. My neighbor, very good neighbor, has no parking, as you know. So, and their people come and go, and mostly a female population that doesn't want to park illegally in ShopRite or walk 5 blocks down, because there won't be any parking, because you're taking away even the parking in front of his side of his business. So, again,
Excuse
I'm
me,
only-
sir.
Yes, I'm
So
sorry.
it worked into, I'm sorry, I forgot to say this. Worked into the ordinance is on each block going up from Broadway north towards Magnolia, there's going to be at least 4 to 6 spots left that the ordinance is not going to start until, you know, enough room up where you can fit about 2 cars on each side, maybe 4, maybe 3 on each side. So I failed to bring that out. So there is going to be parking on the side streets from Broadway to, let's say, the first home.
Okay. Well,
so-
again, I
sorry.
apologize.
It's a
because
distance of
I haven't
80
had time
feet,
to
I mean.
live with the ordinance.
80 feet on each block north from Broadway towards Magnolia. So there will be, you know, that's going to get you 4 to 6, at least 4 to 6 spots on each.
I would, again, and I apologize for this too, but how are the residents going to have guests come over? How is somebody going to visit grandma? Well, but if I decide to, after school, to come visit my cousin on the block, do they have to make arrangements? You know, everybody on the block, there's 200 houses. Everybody's calling up every day.
Understood,
because-
but you're, and I don't mean this in a derogatory way, but you're talking about what affects you. The people that brought this forth are talking about what affects them. So they're going to disagree with you, you're going to disagree with them, right? So they feel like their quality of life has gone down because their businesses are parking their customer cars in front of their homes. Therefore, they can't even have guests over. I'm making that sound worse than it is, but you get the drift. That
Yes, I
they see
understand
black,
that.
you see white.
I certainly
So
understand that, you
there's
know?
2 sides to each of the complaint.
Again, in all the time that I've been there, I have heard from several of the residents, because I'm friendly, like I said, I'm from here, and there's just been a couple of people who have tried to put the businesses out of business. I know the nail salon next to me has been bombarded by 1 or 2 people on Florence to try and get them out of there, simply because they don't like them. You know, I don't understand. He's Vietnamese, maybe that's the reason, but no, his people don't litter. His people, you know, there's only a maximum amount of seats he has in the place. Taking away his parking, 3 sides, I appreciate 80 feet and 80 feet, but that's still only a few, you know, a few, and some people are going to be employees of some of the businesses, and they're going to be there all day. So
Yeah, but
we're
the
down to-
employees can't, the COs and the site plans, you can't have your business spill over into the neighborhood. That's, I would love to see your site plan and your CO, because there's no way they approved you to have your business spill over into a neighborhood with employee parking. That just doesn't exist.
I'm just speaking
Well,
out
you're-
to
but-
the use of 3 spots and 3 spots.
Understood,
you know?
but
To the mayor's
these
question.
people live here and they want to be able to park their cars in their, you know.
Again, I understand with you, and so I won't speak for the neighbors because I don't live on Florence, but I think more to the mayor's question, and I think that might really be a better solution here, is timed parking for non-residents.
It's very difficult to manage.
Well, how are you managing that the person's a visitor or, you know, a customer? Well, I'm sorry?
By looking at the sticker, right? If we have to go up there and mark a tire and come back in 15 minutes, we have other obligations and serious things that we're dealing with, right? To have a police officer sit there and come back every 15 minutes, it's probably not going to get managed very well. So these things were all considered. These things were all considered. And to the mayor's point, the caveat to compromise is we factored in was the 80 feet on every street from Broadway up. So it's not as bad as you think, and it's a year. If it doesn't work, it's not going to come
I
back.
just know none of those businesses can do without their customers for a year.
Well, let me ask you, sir, you weren't apprised of all this, now you're more or less apprised of it. When you heard about the 80 feet on both sides, I watched you and it seemed to calm you down. Does that satisfy you a little more?
Well, of course, any parking is better than no parking. But I am still a little blindsided by this, total ban of anything beyond there for people to park. I mean, again, I grew up here. None of the other streets are like that. It seems totally focused on the businesses on Broadway.
Yeah, that's
and
because
in order to get to the businesses on Broadway, you're banning them from.
there's no other part of town where businesses exist in close proximity to a residential neighborhood where those businesses do not have off-street parking.
Yeah.
That just doesn't exist. So anybody that comes forth and say, let's do this town-wide, there's no reason to do it town-wide. There's no reason to do it anywhere else in town, but in that section, in response to a complaint. We
But
didn't
I
just,
agree,
we
it
didn't
might-
just come to pick this out of the air. Like, nobody wants to deal with this if we don't have to, but
I would love for you to really poll all 200 people that live on that block rather
did it-
than
we did a
one
poll.
person
We did a poll.
who really speaks louder
we
than all the
did a poll.
rest.
Were you listening? We did a poll, right?
And the residents here said they never got it.
Well, okay, but
Are
48
they lying to
people
you?
that-
Are you calling the residents here liars?
Sir, don't try to provoke me
Well,
into,
you're
like,
telling
I'm
me
not
that
saying
you
that.
did what I say you should
Sir,
poll everybody.
I'm telling you that my police officer put forth a report that said she hand-delivered over 100 letters door to door, okay? And that out of that survey, we got 48 responses.
I understood all of that.
So nobody's lying, nobody's making anything
I'm
up.
just trying to
But
say.
that's silly for you to say, right? You said, come on, we're calling the
But these
residents
people
liars?
live there and they.
No, but it's perhaps they missed it. I don't know what happened,
So
but
many people missed it.
Okay. Let me say this.
where's there so many people?
How many people here live on the blocks and didn't get notice?
Okay, so they missed it.
And this is of the few people that are here. This is a large percentage of the people who.
I guarantee you, we're not lying to you, sir.
It's not
We're
lying.
not
No,
lying.
that those things were delivered, fine.
Yep.
But maybe that wasn't sufficient.
Okay.
To take care of our
Let
problem.
me have
maybe it wasn't
let me have
sufficient.
this for 1 second.
Sure.
The great part of this government is the fact that we get here to air these problems out. That's what's happening right now. Let's not get personal, stick to the facts. We got all the time in the world to allow each and every one of you to come up and state your case. This does not become law possibly until next month. So there's a work. It's tonight. Okay, well, that's a different story. All right. Well, in any case, we want to hear everybody before we go to the vote.
Thank you very
Thank
much
you,
for
too.
giving me time.
Anyone else care to speak on this? Please, dear. Lady in back, you, then you're next, the fellow with the lime green shirt.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? My name is Kristen Ciano. I live on 85 Orange Ave. I just want to say congrats because I think you're still. Congratulations on the promotion. Congratulations.
You're his neighbor?
No, I'm the Gilmore's neighbor here.
Oh,
On
okay.
85, but I didn't know I was walking into promotion, and I think that's a pretty awesome night to walk into. So thank you.
Okay.
And congrats. Okay, so I want to be brief. Don't waste one of your time. Just a couple of small concerns. Going into it, I thought it was transparency, but you're saying there was a survey that went out. I'm saying I didn't receive a survey, and if I did, it was lost in some manner. So this was the first I was hearing about it earlier this week. So transparency was my first issue coming to you guys tonight, and I want to just have my voice heard with that. So it felt like blindsided. The next one is the cost for the residents. I pay taxes here, and that seems like an undue cost for me. So if the idea is that people would be fined, in theory, for not following the parking passes, because people will not follow the parking permits, et cetera, could we use those funds to fund whatever we think is doing instead of putting the cost on the shoulder of the residents? So I have a problem with the cost. And then the last thing is the visitor parts. So what I read briefly was that there were 2 visitor passes, and I think you guys repeated that today. So I think that doesn't protect for like the drive-by of like a grandma coming by and saying like, you know, just stopping by because they went to ShopRite and they're coming back and, you know, they want to come and see their grandkids for a short period of time. And that's not planned, or even I necessarily know about that. So it's not something I can plan ahead. And then the other part with the 2 visitor parking is I have 2 young kids. So we have birthday parties in my house and my backyard, and that doesn't cover my immediate family. So just the limitations that's set forth for that. So I wanted to keep it brief and not emotional, but those were my 3 concerns: the transparency, the cost on my shoulders if I were to do permit passes, and finally the visitor passes, the limitation, even with a planned party.
So you basically oppose the whole ordinance, the cost of it, plus the actual functioning of it?
Yeah, so my personal investment in it is I live on Orange Ave. It's an alternate street parking situation as it is, so there's limits to parking already put on my street specifically, and I can't speak for the rest of the Rosemont section. I don't know enough about the town. I just know Orange Ave. So we have limited parking anyway. So when we have a party, my specific side of the street is park on the weekend in front of my side, and the opposite is during the week. So it's already limited parking for us. But I don't want to be selfish with the rest of the time. So those are my concerns. I'm not saying it can't happen, just as it was presented, seems like it would be negatively affecting me and my family.
Okay, thank you,
So
dear.
thank you for your time, and again, congrats.
Yes, sir. We had a little sidebar there. We're talking about the Yankees and the Mets.
No problem, no problem. And again, congratulations. We didn't know that we were walking into, an ascent. Good evening. My name is Frank Lopez. I live on 82 Elizabeth Avenue. I just got wind of this yesterday. We never got any mailing. And again, we're not saying they're lying. We're just saying we never got it. I do believe that alternate side of the street parking is a little bit much on our end. I live on Elizabeth Avenue, and we actually, if anybody comes over, they have to park across the street or they have to park on our side. So I think if removing the alternate side of the street parking on our street would alleviate a lot of those problems. As far as paying for a permit, why would you want to put that burden on us when we're the ones that have the homes, we're the ones that own the homes, we're the ones that support the community, pay the taxes, law-abiding citizens? Why should we foot the bill for the visitors? You know what I mean? Like we're showing that we live there, but then the other people, they come and they get a ticket. Meanwhile, we've already paid $25 for the permits, and I believe if it's 135 permits, 135 homes at 25, it comes out to like $3,300.
So you opposing the cost and the actual functioning of the ordinance?
100%. 100%.
Okay.
It's, we own a 2-family home. Although we don't rent, we all live because we have 5 children. They all have their cars. They all paid for their cars. They all pay for their insurances. And we actually have to play, juggling the cars in and out of the driveways every night because
our neighbor on the corner doesn't even have a driveway.
yeah, she doesn't have a driveway, and they have about 4 or 5 cars as well too. So what's going to happen to them? You know what I mean? Like they're gonna have to get this permit. And I don't think it's fair considering we pay for the taxes. We pay for the
Well, let me ask you,
infrastructure
let
of
me
the
ask you
town.
this.
Sure.
Is the traffic from the businesses encumbering your operation?
It does, but guess what? We grew up in New York, so parking is, this is great. I mean, I'm not complaining, but
My concern is, then we.
this is
do-
my wife, by the way,
then we
Emily
do-
Lopez.
Welcome, wife.
Thank you.
82 Elizabeth as well.
8 years?
82 Elizabeth. No,
Oh.
8 years.
How many?
We've known each other our whole lives.
Okay,
My parents babysat her when she was a baby.
wow.
Yeah, so
No, my concern is also the community. Though I don't have a business on Broadway, I am concerned about the business
Mhm.
because that's what brings people into our town. I know Rosemont gets a lot of traffic due to the busing, I guess, business that they have on that end. I get that. I understand that. And I know he was saying, oh, it's too much for the police department to come back and forth to check the tires every 15 minutes. All right, let's do a time limit, not 15 minutes, but give it 30 minutes. It concerns everyone. And I understand the residents, because I'm a resident here, but I also worry about our town. We want to better the town, not make it worse. And we need the businesses running for that reason. You know what? Remove the alternate parking. I mean, that's another subject that I shouldn't even touch, but, we have alternate parking for cleaning to come by. I barely see them come and clean the streets anyway to begin with. So why not remove it and do it maybe every Wednesday they come do street cleaning? But we need the parking. That's impossible. And then we're gonna get a cost for it? That makes no sense.
Well, this ordinance would probably, if it was passed here tonight, would probably give you more parking. So I'm a little confused on your contention.
No.
well, it'll probably give us more parking, but it also gives us another $25 that we
Yeah.
have to pay.
Which
So I actually
I really
thought,
wanna encourage.
thinking with, like New Yorker, maybe you should do a time limit, on the street, parking for a half an hour, limited time from 9 to 5, where the businesses are open, or something along those lines. Maybe that'll deter people from actually taking up the parking spots,
Exactly.
or parking all day and taking the bus into the city, because we've seen that happen too. I'm not going to complain again, because listen, if I park down the street, guess what? I'll walk. It's no big deal. I grew up in New York, and I understand most of you did it and live in Jersey, and that's the convenience of living in Jersey, and I'm not going to deprive them of that. But, there has to be some kind of midpoint where we can live with this without having to pay for it.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you very much
No, thank you.
for your opinion. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and Administration. My name is Jerry Labozo. I live at 99 Florence Place. First of all, this comes from the request of the Florence Place residents from Broadway to St. Anne Street. This is a 20-year-old problem. This isn't something that just happened now. The gentleman that came up here with the blue shirt, yes, he has a business, and he has a few people that park on our street. The nail salon, a few more than that. Their patrons leave their little white things that they put on their feet, and they literally just leave them on our block. That was almost something we could live with. The new store that came, which is NJ Exotic Pets, has taken our street and turned it into a carnival. Now, as I said before, we've been through this, so let me first start by thanking this mayor and this council and this administration for getting us this far, because we were never able to get this far. So I thank you. I thanked you last week at a private session, and I want to thank you in front of everybody here. I will tell you, this is the best mayor and council that I've seen in the 30 years that I've lived here. You guys don't fight. I've seen some really ugly mayors and councils in the past, and now finally, there's some relief. But I want to clarify something for everybody. I'm here on behalf of 15 families on Florence Place. Florence Place is the one that's affected the most. Some of the council members sitting on the dais right now have come to see it with their own eyes. Florence Place had become a parking lot. But more importantly, Florence Place is going to be the reason why a child gets hit by a car or killed. When they come to our street to park, this is for the new store that opened up, which, by the way, has light on every turn to the mayor and council and to the zoning board. They said they would only have a few people working. They said that they would only have a few patrons. You cannot move on my street. K-turns, 4 and 5 at the same time, in and out. Everybody who gets out of the car are parents with their children. They go to the store, they come back empty-handed. So I'm like, how is that possible? So all the things that they were told not to do, they're doing. They're holding a petting zoo once a week, once a month, and they're charging people to do it. They're having arts and crafts once a week for children. Their CO does not allow them to do that because that becomes an assembly use. The CO for this building allows us all to be here today because the CO says assembly, we've assembled. They don't have the permission to assemble. So unfortunately for the man who sells the records and the nail salon who has
Jerry,
patients,
please, in the microphone.
well, I'm getting a crick in my neck. I'm hoping that everybody can hear me loud and clear.
If this was Mayor Mola, he would have stopped you a half hour ago.
So I want to be clear to everybody that I represent 15 houses on Florence Place because we are unbelievably affected more than anybody else in Rosemont. So I set out to contact the administration, the police department, the mayor and the council to help give us our quality of life back. They did what they needed to do and canvassed the rest of Rosemont. So if the rest of Rosemont doesn't want it and they're okay with it, Florence Place needs it. There is oil stains. There's garbage as far as the eye can see. We park our cars, and this has much more to do with just freeing up parking for us. That's not the case here. The case is, I'm talking quality of life and danger. Kids. So they told the zoning board that they were not going to have parties. I live on the street. I look out my window and I see 15 kids walking down the street with balloons and gifts. That's on top of the cars that came there to park. It is an absolute war zone. It looks like a carnival came to town. So many people are walking down Florence Place, they're moving out of the way for each other. Like that many people walking at the same time. So I, the person who was elected to speak on behalf of my neighbors, we kept track. We took pictures. We took pictures of the K-turns, the garbage, the oil stains, the kids that are going there. So at the end of the day, everybody, Florence Place is the one who asked for it. They elected me to be their spokesperson. We absolutely need it. The mayor and council decided to canvass the whole area and got an overwhelming response. So as far as money is concerned, I want you to know that nobody from Florence Place is complaining about the nominal fee of $25. When you look at a $25 fee versus the residents asking for a tax appeal, they say we're going to ask for a tax appeal because we can't have any quality of life. We pay $12,000, $13,000, $14,000, $15,000 in taxes. Our houses, believe it or not, on Florence Place are worth anywhere between $800,000 and $900,000. Not with what's going on there, we wouldn't be able to give them away. So $25 per car for us, that's nothing. And for those of you that are upset about the fee, I'll be happy to pay for you.
All right, hold it.
I'll be happy to pay for you.
Hold
If that's
it,
what
hold
this
it.
is gonna take.
Hold on, I have a question. Is
We're
there
gonna
anyone
keep-
here,
we're gonna
so
keep
you're
order
from
here.
Florence Place. I saw people here from Orange. Is there any other street represented here? Elizabeth.
Okay.
And where else? Parkview. Okay. So initially it was discussed to only address Florence, and then the concern arose that those people would just move to Elizabeth. So then Elizabeth's going to get inundated. Then it was discussed then someone brought up Rosemont because of the busing. So then that's how other streets got involved in this. So, that was all being considered because if we just do Florence, Elizabeth is the next block over. It's going to get all the Florence traffic, right? So he has a legitimate gripe on Florence. Hold on, ma'am. And Rosemont has the busing issue. Is anyone here from Rosemont? Yeah. So I'm just asking, is anyone here from Rosemont? Yeah. Do you have the issue with the buses? Oh, you're on the other end. Okay. No, this doesn't affect you there.
But Chief, doesn't the alternate side of the street parking go away?
With this?
Yeah.
Yeah, after
Would it?
Magnolia. We didn't discuss that. We didn't discuss that. We wanted to see how this was gonna,
Okay.
was gonna factor in, but I'm sorry.
So,
She's the one that has the issue with the busing, with the busing who, I guess, rents the gas stations, parking.
Yep.
So I understand that, I get it, but I get your issue.
So Orange has no issues. No, no. You have no issues with the businesses parking.
Mike, let's get this, let's bring them up one by one and keep order. Thank you, Jerry. We got your point well served.
yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know why everything has to come to such a feverish pitch. With all due respect to everybody, the police officer that went door to door, those who did not answer were left in their mailbox. The police department is the only one that could leave something in your mailbox. So my neighbor said to me, hey, Jerry, look what we got. So they got it in their mailbox. So either you answered the door or you got it in your mail. Maybe you threw it out, but they did their due diligence.
All right, thank you, Jerry. I got other
Thank you very
people
much.
here.
I just wanted to clarify.
Yes, sir.
Howdy, everybody. My name is Christian Duvall. I live on 81 Magnolia Street. I have a couple of problems with the ordinance as proposed. Primarily is the fee. The problem is affecting the residents of this community. It seems like an undue burden to be taxing them additionally. Further, you said this is for signs and postage for the first year, correct? Signs and postage is for the fees.
Hold on, you said you live on Magnolia?
Yes,
This
sir.
isn't gonna be posted on Magnolia, so,
Either
Okay.
way, it's still a part of the community, and I have neighbors on some of the subsequent streets, so I'm here to speak for them as well. But signs and postage, we get the fee, goes out, people get ticketed, that goes a revenue stream for the town itself. Does the program not self-sustain itself at some point? Why does it need to be
it's illegal
taxed
to
during-
consider summonsing for revenue. You can't, that's
Understood.
illegal.
Understood.
Chief.
In either case, the main concern is the money for me.
So I understood you to say signs and posts. In other words, sign posts, and this fellow apparently understands it as postage, right? I just
No,
wanna-
signs, posts for the
Po-
the
yeah,
whole
the
unit
poles.
thing,
Yeah,
the
okay, thank you.
placards, I imagine, the sticker units. That's what we're talking
Thank
about,
you.
correct?
So you're opposed to the cost of the signs and the posts?
Yes, I don't believe it should be.
How about the ordinance itself?
The parking should, the businesses themselves have an issue. They pull onto addressing it isn't the issue. The issue is that it is an undue tax burden onto the already paying taxpayers.
Okay, so you would be against this ordinance as it
As
sits
it
right now?
stands, correct.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you very much. Yes, ma'am? I see you brought that cane. I hope you didn't bring it to hit me with it. We better watch with this lady.
No, he knows me. My name is Sonia Wallish, and I'm on Elizabeth Avenue. I've lived there 45 years. Okay. I love my town. I used to live in another small town, Chatham, and when I came to Elmwood Park, I was delighted. It was a great town. My street has become a road rage, I must tell you. There is, in front of my house every day, either a Mercedes, an Acura, sometimes a very expensive car parked in front of my house all day long. This is not a resident. None of my residents have these cars. So that's somebody that's in a business that's up the street somewhere. I understand that they need parking. I understand that. But I don't think that they should take my parking space away from me by actually going into my driveway. Sometimes I can't even get into my driveway because they're parked too far over. So there's something wrong with the whole system. We have alternate parking, and we've been following this rule, and you changed this a couple of years ago to making it to the other way around, and it confused everybody in my neighborhood. But we resolved it, and you took care of it. But we cannot be treated like this. We are already paying our taxes, and we do it diligently. We come to the mailbox over there and put our little money in there every quarter, and I don't mind doing it because I love my town. But I don't want to be treated like I'm not important. If you charge me to get a permit, you should charge everybody in this town to get permits, because there's so many people are parking along the apartment houses, and they're not going to be paying anything. There's cars there that probably are from the companies, so that's not fair. You can't treat me differently than you're treating everybody else. I think you should consider this. Thank you.
Let me ask you, before you
Sure,
leave.
go ahead.
So you're opposed to the cost of the ordinance?
Definitely I'm opposed to
But
the
how about
cost.
the ordinance itself? What's your opinion
You
on?
do audience, you have to figure out another way. Why don't you put meters? You can give the people who live in that section something to put on their cars so they don't have to pay it, and everyone else should pay on a meter. If that's what you want to do to make money for the town, do it that way.
This isn't a money thing. I know it sounds like it is, but it's not.
It's a money thing. I'm sorry to say, Mayor, I really think it is.
No, I won't allow that to happen, so that the rest of your mind assured. What's important here is that we need to know how the residents feel about this ordinance tonight.
And I said, and our chief said that he had everyone get this. I did not get it, neither did several other people here. Maybe they should have followed it up with a phone call. You know, we all have phones, we all have cell phones, you can leave a message. It's important, get back to the police department, we have this survey we have to have filled out. I bet you would have gotten a larger attendance that way. So you should think about other methods of doing things. You can't always depend on people getting things in the mail, because they're not going to probably read it, as you said. But I did not get it. I'm telling you, I read my mail daily. That's it.
Thank you, dear.
Enough, enough.
Anyone else? Yes, dear. Yeah, with the black dress.
Hello.
Hello.
I was not prepared to speak. I didn't really even know this was going on until yesterday from Facebook. I live on Parkview, but I live toward the Willow side. So I didn't really want to speak about, actually, I do oppose it. I do oppose the cost. I do oppose the ordinance. But my question is, how are you going to collect the data to see if this trial is working? Because what I can see and what I see now is the people down at the end are just going to park over a block, which is going to encroach on my block. So how are you going to collect data that it's working?
Good question. I'm sure we will figure a way out to do that and be accurate about it, but I haven't an answer for you right now. Mike, would you care to
No, just to clarify, you're on the Willow, you're towards Willow? This doesn't affect you?
It doesn't now, but I can see because we have people down at the end of Parkview. I think there's like a boarding house, and they already park down on my block. So I can just see people.
No, this is, I think you're confused. This is for non-residents parking, right? So people that are not a resident, we're trying to prevent them from parking in front of the homes when they visit the businesses. So the residents have more parking.
Right.
A resident's not going to park in front of your house.
Right, but
A resident can park here now.
Right, but my point is the residents who don't want to pay this will just pick up their cars and move down for this year to begin with.
I mean, that's pretty, all right. Really?
Yes, really.
All right.
You don't think people
No.
will, I know so.
You think so?
I do, yes.
All right.
Does anybody else think people will just not pay that?
Okay.
and just move?
all right, one at a time, please. Thank you, dear. Someone else care to speak on this subject? Yes, sir. One at a time.
Hello, my name is Santiago Vasquez Velez. I live on 78 Orange Ave. I never got the survey that, what's your name again? Sorry.
Please.
Michael gave out, that he said that
Mr.
supposedly.
Feligno.
Yeah, Mr. Falago, that supposedly he gave out to everybody on Orange Ave. Well, no, he didn't do it personally, of course. He said that there was a police officer that came around to give a survey, correct? Okay, and what was that number of people that responded again? 48 out of how many? Okay, only 48 of 100 people responded to the survey. I don't think that's enough people actually responding to the survey to get a decent view of what people think about the overall ordinance. I think that it should have been much higher, considering you have to get a majority vote here, for example, to get anything passed, right? Shouldn't you get a majority vote on the ordinance as well to get it passed? Right, a majority of people that responded, but not the majority of people that live there, right? Oh, there was only like 38 respondents out of like 100 something people. That's still, if you take that into consideration, that's still a minority people that would want it, right? If I would, for example, if 100 of the people responded and only 38 agreed to it, that's still a minority vote. You still can't pass the ordinance under that, right? Right, but I'm saying like the people wouldn't have agreed to get this ordinance through anyways.
Okay.
Right, but I think
I
that's
can
just not
understand,
enough.
sir, I can understand your concerns on how it works. But
Yes.
what's your opinion? That's what we need here
I
tonight.
oppose the ordinance. I oppose both the function of the ordinance and the price of the ordinance. I think getting fined $100 for people that don't have the permit, and like, let's say I have friends come over and they want to park on the street.
Let me ask you something.
Yes.
If there was no,
Right, but there's too many people. Like, I have like 4 friends come over. They don't all drive in the same car. So, well, they're all guests. Yeah, you only get 2 permits. You only get 2 guest permits. I can't give them rip it in half and let them share it.
let me ask you,
Yes.
if there was no fee involved, would you still be opposed to this?
Yes, I still would be opposed to it.
Thank you, sir. That's all we need.
All right, thank you.
Next. Yes, sir. There's one person we're not going to allow to speak, and that's that child.
Thank you. I'm Brian Ciano. I live on 85 Orange Ave, and I again concur with many of the other residents who said that they never received notification of this. I found out about it from my neighbors and on Facebook. That's the only way we knew this was happening tonight, to speak about it. I don't want to belabor things and drag this longer because we've obviously had a lot of opinions on this, and I don't want to, while there's obviously a serious problem on that one street, and I feel for those people, I'm not trying to say this should not, take care of them if they need that. We on Orange don't have that. The bigger problem on Orange, honestly, is the 80 feet you are going to take out of this ordinance for the businesses, because people aren't supposed to park that close to the corner on either side, and you can barely turn onto Orange because people park illegally on both sides and pushes the traffic.
It wouldn't be, you still can't park close to the corner.
I know, but I'm saying the ordinance you already have isn't being used in any way. So now you're moving it back to where the residents now have to pay to park in their own area. It seems everything that this ordinance, well, not everything, but some things that are going on in this ordinance are going against what you were trying to do. To say that you were trying to create more spaces for the people that live there and then charge them to park there is the opposite. And then also to take the fee and have it at a higher level for one car and then drop it down the more cars you have seems to then create more traffic as well. That doesn't seem to jive, both those. And I agree with the resident who made the point that it's definitely going to happen. We live on the side, obviously, of Orange that is going to be affected by this. If you drive down the other side of Orange, there is no alternate side parking. Oftentimes, you can't get down there if someone's, you can only go one at a time because both sides are filled up. You're going to create more havoc at that other half of the Rosemont area because anybody who doesn't want to pay is just going to go down there. When people have people over, they're just going to make them park down there, and you're going to create much more logjam down there, and then you have to do something, an ordinance for that area as well, whether it's the same thing or otherwise. So it just seems to me the way that currently is written, it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, it does the opposite. And then, you said the guest passes if you have the parking permit. We're lucky enough to have a driveway where we can park our cars, so we probably wouldn't need that. But now if we have people come over, can we still get free guest passes, or now are we charged for guest passes because we're not paying for resident passes?
Okay,
Does anybody know that answer?
Mike, do you have an answer for that?
If you don't pay for resident passes, do you get free guest passes still, or now are you charged for those?
Guest pass? Okay. Okay.
No? Okay, well, that seems like something that wasn't fully thought out, as we just pointed out, how you're going to measure that.
He's checking that.
I appreciate what you're trying to do for that part of the neighborhood, and by all means, help them out any way you can, whether it's this ordinance or, going after the businesses who are doing things they're not supposed to be doing, like he's pointing out. But it seems like to include everybody, I know your forethought was, well, they're going to just move over, but now they're just going to move back and back too. It's not, I don't feel like it's fully fleshed out right now the way it is.
So
I'm against it currently, yes.
You're opposed to this?
As currently written, I am against it.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else care to speak?
My name is Deirdre Gilmore.
Bring the mic down just a little bit. That fellow that was here was very, very tall.
Yes, he was very tall. He's my neighbor. So I was only aware of this ordinance last week. Like most of my neighbors said, I did not get any kind of notification. So it came to me as a shock when I found out about this ordinance. I was very disappointed in mayor and council for not informing people. I got a registered mail referring to a business that wants to open up on Broadway, which to me, yes, it might affect me, but I live with it. I don't call the town on when people are double parked. People are always parked on the opposite side of the road. But let me tell you, that police department, Chief Filigno, is very quick in giving us a ticket that I have been a member of this borough for 38 years. We're not supposed to park after 8 o'clock in the morning. We're supposed to alternate. My husband's gotten a ticket at 8:05. Okay? Does that mean that your police officers are waiting there to give us a ticket? Another time, he goes to change the cars, and they're there to give him another ticket. So, have we complained? No. But this does annoy me. At one time, we had 6 cars registered my household. As some of you know my children. I had 4 kids. They all grew up in Elmwood Park. We were very, very active in this town and the school system. So, maybe a lot of you don't know me anymore, but I used to be very active. And I am very disappointed that this was not, like, I talked to quite a few of my neighbors. No one knew about it. Okay? You're saying that it's going to be brought to the Record and the Herald. Do each one of you have a membership to the Herald and the Record? Every single one of you. Do you? It's a yes or no question.
I don't know what you're talking about, ma'am. We didn't say we advertised it in the paper. I think that
You said that the ordinance is going to be recorded, it's going to be published in the Record or the Herald. Is that not true?
Yes, once it's introduced, it is published in the paper at least 10 days prior to the hearing, letting everyone know. But there is also, you can also look at it online.
Okay, but how am I supposed to look at it online if I don't know about it? Why was it not put in the community shopper that every person in Elmwood Park gets for free?
I don't have access to the community shopper. I don't know who runs the community shopper.
So that's a product of what's called the Open Public Meetings Act, that notices are required to be published in certain newspapers, at least until recent law changes. But that's basically the process for any advertisement regarding meeting notices, reading all ordinance. That's how they are distributed. And they're also available on the borough website.
Okay, but why would it be in the Record and the Herald when...
Because those are the designated newspapers.
Excuse me?
Those are the designated newspapers by law.
Okay, but is there a way to change that so that the community paper, which everybody in Elmwood Park gets?
Frankly, I don't know that the community paper qualifies to meet the requirements, to satisfy the requirements of publishing under the law.
Okay, but if it has to do with the Elmwood Park community...
It's a state law. It's not specific to Elmwood Park.
Okay, so is there an ordinance that you guys could maybe bring up, that anything that has to do with Elmwood Park?
We'd have to
put in our
designate them
paper?
as another
I don't know whether they would
entity.
qualify, but the law is currently in flux because it's changing, where it's moving away from publication on the newspapers, and it's going to be all published online on the borough
Okay.
website and the Secretary of
Let's
State.
get back to the issue, though.
Okay.
In your opinion, are you against the cost
Oh, 100%.
and the
Yes,
ordinance?
100%. Why should I pay to park in front of my house?
Okay.
If I have to pay, then I think every single one in town should be paying for a parking permit.
Okay.
And, on Facebook, everybody was referring to Garfield. Well, Garfield, their parking permit is $10 for 2 years. Why is ours so high?
That's also a completely different program because that's overnight parking. It's just facts. That's all.
Okay, but still, why should the Rosemont section and only to Magnolia be targeted again? As it is, we have alternate side parking.
Well, it's not targeting, that's where we have the problem, so,
Well, that's what it feels like.
yeah. Believe me, that's not the
Well,
objective.
and plus, you're going to make a lot of money off that. So don't tell me that it's not a moneymaker. It is.
It's not.
Okay, but,
It's not.
all right, so.
But I hear you. I hear
Okay,
you.
So is there a transparency where we can see how much money you take in? for those?
Absolutely. Sure. We could do that. But let's get to that point
Okay.
first, okay?
And then also, I heard you say that, what was it that the quote unquote I heard earlier that you mentioned that, that when it has to do with concerned citizens, that we're notified. Well, we're all concerned citizens here, and we never, well, I'm sorry, I never got the notification, and most of the people here never got the notification. So, Mr. Lebozo, you said you got it? I talked to someone on your street that didn't even know about it.
Excuse me, dear. You have to address your
Okay.
questions to the
All
mayor and
right,
council.
so I went in and I was in a pizzeria, and I was telling the owner about it. He knew nothing of it also. And so I guess he overheard me, and, you know, I was telling him all the streets affected, and he lived on, what was it, Elizabeth? It was the corner by the pet store, the exotic pet store, and he knew nothing of it.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Wait.
ahead.
You finished, dear? You finished?
Well, if I do, I mean, is anybody else speaking? 'Cause-
No, wait, no.
All right.
You can't take over the meeting. That's my job.
All right, yes, all right. So, yeah, I mean, I think most of my fellow people that stood up said a lot of things, but let me tell you, I was sitting in my seat, and I was extremely upset from what I heard from you guys. You guys are not sympathetic, and I am so sorry.
When you say you guys, what are you referring to?
Your mayor and council, we voted for you guys.
To be fair, no one's spoken yet on this other than the mayor, to be fair.
We're listening to you right now.
Yes.
Isn't
And-
that enough?
All right, so the first meeting, how many people were here against this? Not many, right?
Correct.
Because we did not know about it.
Okay, we got
And
that
did
point.
you- did
You've
you see the-
established,
Okay.
that
Did you
point is
see-
established
Okay.
here. You're just
All
being
right.
redundant
Did you
now.
see the turnout for this meeting now?
It's very considerable.
Yes.
And
So-
it leaves a lot of questions.
Good, I'm glad. So it's something for you guys to discuss before you pass it.
Absolutely.
Because some of you are for reelection,
Okay,
so just think about it when you guys decide to vote.
very good.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear. Anyone else? Yes, sir. Jerry, is it really necessary? I mean, this is,
Hello,
Yes.
Mayor, Mike, Council, how you doing? My name is Wilbur Rodriguez. I live at 14 Florence Place. I'm not affected by what's going on here, but this survey that I received a while back for a one-way, it was from Willow to the highway. I heard that 40% of the people wanted it, a one-way. I said I couldn't believe it, so I went out with a petition. I got 27 out of 47 houses to sign no. If it's the same survey that you handed out, and they got a phone like this, they can't register. A house phone, you can't do it. How come they didn't go to houses and have everybody walk around? I walked to those houses about 4 times till I got my 27 votes. You know, not votes, but you know. Anyway, the time you put down, I think it was 8 to 8:30. You got to have a sticker on your car to park. Why? I drove around this morning 3 times. From 8 to 4, most of the people are working. The roads are empty. Why can't we make it a little better for the businessman in the back? At least give him some time to sell something. You know what I mean? That's about all I want to say. I hope you consider that at least the time for the guys, you know what I mean? And one more thing. How come we can't do anything on Route 4 for parking? The sidewalks are pretty wide. We can't cut into that somehow or
That's
do
state-
something?
state
Maybe you
property.
could check into that. I don't know.
Yeah, that's state
You know?
property.
You know?
The right-of-way, that would be infringing on the state property right-of-way.
I mean, people are parking on the sidewalks already, you know?
Yeah.
All right? Okay, thank you.
Well, till our next time, we share french fries. You got to make it short, dear. You had your time. I don't mean to be,
Just
In-
one
in the
question. It has
microphone.
to do with the parking. So what is the rule for, from the corner, like when you can't park, like from the corner, how many feet in? 25 feet? So then, you said it was going to, pardon me? 25 feet?
20 for a stop sign now, we changed the ordinance in town to allow for more vehicles to fit because we're out of room. So 25 from the corner, and then our stop signs in Elmwood Park is 20 feet. It's normally 50.
20 feet? Because it's sometimes really hard for when we come and try to turn that corner, and cars are like, when it's, we park on the right side, and cars are parked there, and people are going across the floor. They don't always stay to the left, or whatever, to the right. So it's kind of orange. So, yeah. So then, yes. And then the other thing is, yes, yes.
Okay.
And then just the other thing is, so if you're doing 80 feet, it's only going to be really 55 feet then, right? You're talking about giving to the businesses?
right, still have that setback.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, thank you.
Mayor, before, if there's no other residents that want to speak, I'd like to make a motion to table. I'd like to make a motion to table the ordinance.
We still have one more person that would like to speak, and then, Councilman, you'll have your moment. This will be the last person.
Let's make sure it's on this specific ordinance. Yeah, this issue, not parking in other parts in town. Please.
No, I'm not talking about Popeye.
Has nothing to do with the parking, but it does have to do with Governor Murphy's Senate Bill number 4654.
We're only open for public on the topic of this
You're
ordinance.
talking about publication of these ordinances and where they get published.
No, we're not.
No,
That's not what's
no,
in the
no, no.
ordinance.
This pertains just to Florence Place.
I know, but they're asking about publication. You're talking that it's
And you want to make a
published.
comment on it?
I'm
Go ahead,
making-
make it quick, please.
That's so out of
Just
place.
look into that Senate bill and explain to the residents how they're going to be notified if this bill this bill has taken effect. That's
Okay.
all.
We have a motion from Councilman
Yeah,
Fasolo.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to table the ordinance.
You got a second? No discussion on the tabling. May I make a comment too? Yeah. We've heard everyone here this evening. I'm sure there's some questions the council have about this ordinance, the fees, et cetera. We were going to take another look at this and see what we can come up with. And I just want to thank you all for coming this evening. Tried to be polite and courteous to everyone and give everybody a fair chance to speak. And like I said, this will be tabled and for further discussion. Need a vote.
Okay.
Tabled by Councilman Fasolo, second by Councilwoman Troisi. On roll call, we have Councilmembers Fasolo,
Yes.
Golombek,
Yes to table.
Sampson,
Yes, the table.
Sheridan,
Yes, the table.
Troisi,
Yes.
Council President Pellegrin.
Yes, the table.
Motion carries.
Okay.
The ordinance is tabled.
Moving along.
Yep. Next, we have Resolution R-235-25, introduced ordinance number 25-16 on second reading. Whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance repealing and replacing Borough Code Chapter 21, Shade Tree, to establish requirements for tree removal and replacement, was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, June 12th, 2025, and that further consideration of this ordinance will be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same, Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance repealing and replacing Borough Code Chapter 21, Shade Tree, to establish requirements for tree removal and replacement passed on final reading.
May I have a motion to open to the public? Anyone from the public care to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance alone? If not, I'll close the public portion. May I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
On the trees?
On the trees?
On the trees?
Oh, okay.
I had one of those famous trees that was planted by the town about 5 years ago.
Okay.
It was a beautiful tree. I love my tree. It was very pretty. But it was hit by a truck by somebody that was working for the town. And they were supposed to replace it and they never did. And then my tree fell down. But in between, I was accused of having to have that tree pulled up. If the town pulled up the tree, they would put it in my backyard and I can replant it for myself, or they would just dispose of it. I thought that was very unfair. You guys planted that tree for me in the first place. You gave me that beautiful tree. Then it was hit by somebody from your department, whichever department it was, and then it fell down, and then I never got another tree. I think you have to think about it. They said it was too close to the curb. Well, they planted it originally too close to the curb. I did not plant it. So I think that's something you have to really discuss with your people that work on the
The ordinance has changed. You're talking about a tree that was planted in between the curb and the sidewalk?
Exactly.
That ordinance no longer exists. Now you have to plant beyond that. What's happening was that these trees that are planted in that location, as we can all attest to, no matter where you live, the roots grow, they pull up the concrete.
I understand that. I understand that.
So if you put that tree back about 10 feet into your property, you're in safe.
You can't do that because my property doesn't have that type of space. But also, if you did that, you'd have to take all the trees on my street that have been planted that close to the curb. It shouldn't have been just my tree.
No, they're grandfathered right now.
Well, that's not fair.
We're not going to go and kill trees just.
Well, you killed my tree. My tree was knocked down.
Well,
No, I feel very bad about that tree. I love that tree.
I can't argue that, but what
Well, I think you should really consider that when you guys plant trees in the future, you should make sure they're correctly planted. Really, I'm really serious.
Let me ask you, if we were to get you a tree and plant it off the sidewalk.
I'd be glad if you gave me a tree.
Well, but you got, what is it, 10-foot setback, Mike?
You'd have to go right into my front yard to plant that tree. Absolutely, I'll take a tree.
Can we see if that's a possibility for this lady?
I'll take a tree. That's not a problem.
Get her address.
Got my address, 89 Elizabeth Avenue. I want to make sure I'm there when you're planting it, so you don't do it incorrectly. Okay? Thank
Gotcha.
you very much.
Okay. Okay. Where were we? Anyone else care to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance alone? If not, I close the public portion. May I have a motion on the ordinance?
Second.
Call the roll, please.
First by Council President Pellegrin, second by Councilman Sampson. On roll call, we have Council Members Fasolo,
Yes.
Gullabeg,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Sheridan, Troisi, Council President Pellegrin. Motion carries. Next, we have Resolution R-236-25, introduced ordinance number 25-17 on second reading, whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance repealing and replacing Borough Code Section 20-1 and its subparts, Park Athletic Field and Recreational Facilities Use Policy to establish revised recreation facilities procedures, was introduced and passed on a meeting held on Thursday, June 12, 2025, and that further consideration of this ordinance will be taken up at this meeting, whereas all persons interested in said ordinance will be heard concerning the same. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance repealing and replacing Borough Code Section 20-1 and its subparts, Park Athletic Fields and Recreational Facilities Use Policy to establish revised recreation facilities procedures, passed on final reading.
Motion to open to the public. Anyone from the public care to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance alone? If not, I'll close the public portion. May I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
So move.
Call the roll, please.
First by Councilman Fasolo, second by Council President Pellegrin. On roll call, we have Council Members Fasolo,
Yes.
Golubek,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Sheridan,
I'm going to have to abstain on this.
Troisi,
I'm going to recuse.
Council President Pellegrin.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have Resolution R-237-25, introduced ordinance number 25-18 on second reading, whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending and supplementing Ordinance 25-03 entitled, an ordinance to fix the salary, wage, and compensation of the officers, employees, and servants of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey for the year 2025 regarding full-time building inspector's salary was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, June 12, 2025, and that further consideration of this ordinance will be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given the opportunity to be heard concerning the same. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance amending and supplementing Ordinance 25-03 entitled, an ordinance to fix the salary, wage, and compensation of the officers, employees, and servants of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey for the year 2025 regarding full-time building inspector salary, passed on final reading.
Motion to open to the public. Anyone from the public care to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance alone? If not, I'll close the public portion. May I have a motion on the resolution? Ordinance, excuse me.
Second.
Okay.
Call the roll, please.
First by
I have
Council.
discussion when you get to it.
Okay.
You want discussion?
You want to announce it, or do you want me to?
No, yeah, go
I'll
ahead.
discuss.
Go ahead, hold on.
This is an ordinance to amend our salary ordinance for all the non-union employees in the municipality. I'm going to be voting no. We adopted, the majority of the council adopted a budget this year, double-digit tax increase. And then after adopting the budget, after allocating funds, we're adding yet another full-time employee, unbudgeted. Numerous unbudgeted employees, not unwarranted employees, but numerous unbudgeted employees being approved by this council year after year after we adopt the budget. After we set the benchmarks for how much each department gets funded, we add, and this is why we're in the situation we're in, I believe. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other discussion? We have the motion. Call the roll, please.
First by Council President Pellegrin, second by Councilman Sampson. On roll call, we have Council Members Fasolo,
No.
Golubek,
No.
Sampson,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Troisi,
Yes.
Council President Pellegrin.
Yes.
Motion carries.
It's that time again, huh, Shanae?
Almost. Moving on to our consent agenda.
Yes.
We have the following resolutions. Resolution R-238-25, approval of payroll. R-239-25, approval of bills list. R-240-25, authorized vacation buyback. R-241-25, award proposal for professional services alignment group for the FY 2024 NJDOT Municipal Aid Program. R-242-25, authorized current estimate number 1, change order number 1, 2023 CDBG road improvements. R-243-25, appointment of electric subcode official, building department. R-244-25, amend recreation staff for the 2025 summer program recreation department. R-245-25, appointment of recreation department staff. R-246-25, resolution to redeem third-party tax lien. R-247-25, resolution to refund tax-exempt veteran. R-248-25, resolution to refund tax-exempt veteran. R-249-25, resolution to refund tax-exempt veteran. R-250-25, resolution to refund Riverwalk 3 LLC. R-251-25, resolution to enter into a one-year contract with DLK Consulting. R-252-25, a resolution requesting permission for the dedication by rider for Community Garden Trust Fund. R-253-25, resolution purchasing procedure and New Jersey purchasing threshold approved by State of New Jersey effective July 1st, 2025. R-254-25, approval to submit a grant application and execute a grant contract with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for funding from the FY 2025 Municipal Aid Program for the Mola Boulevard from Route 46 to Hillman Drive Decorative Lighting Project for $875,265. R-255-25, renew liquor licenses for the 2025-2026 license term. R-256-25, approve block party request. R-257-25, approve handicap parking space, Viveny Street. R-258-25, resignation of firefighters. And R-259-25, resolution to approve the consent agenda.
May I have a motion on the consent agenda?
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
First by Council President Pellegrin, second by Councilman Fasolo. On roll call, we have Councilmembers Fasolo,
Yes, I need to recuse on 258-25, and yes to the rest.
Golubek,
Yes.
Sampson,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Troisi,
I'm going to recuse on R-258-25 and yes to the rest.
Council President Pellegrin.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have departmental reports. We just have one departmental report to be approved. It's the Board of Health meeting minutes from May 12th, 2025.
Motion to accept.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? All in favor?
Okay. Mayor, this concludes my portion of the meeting. I will turn it over to you for council reports.
Okay, let's change it around a little bit here. Let's start off with Councilman Troisi.
Me, okay. For my rec update, the summer camp, is going well. I think they've had 2 trips so far. They've got about 300 children, registered. And, in cooperation with the Board of Ed, they were able to help the rec with expanding their lunch offering. Not only the younger children at the high school, but also the campers at the rec center will be receiving free lunch. So that's a great value for our families. They've also implemented a new proof of residency procedure for all sports programs beginning in the fall. This will be done by uploading proof of residency through Community Pass. And for my Board of Ed update, the football field is currently undergoing the turf replacement. Let's see. Hopefully it'll be ready for the football season kickoff. And then I just want to thank Linda and the Homeowners Association again for their generous donation. And I'd like to add, JC Promotions also gave us a donation for the garden in the amount of $500. So we received that this week. Thank you, Chief, for working with Roy to facilitate the Community Garden Trust Fund. I appreciate it. I believe that is all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Sheridan.
Thank you, Mayor. Sunday on July 13th, I was invited over to the VFW for the New Jersey Veterans Network. They had a pre-party. Sunday, Superman movie came out. So they turned around and they had about 90 veterans and their families. We had like a little pre-party. And then everybody went to go to Hawthorne to see the movie. A lot of freebies were given out. I mean, we had a really good time. It was like a 3-4 hour pre-party. But we had a good time, so I want to give a shout out to Doc for that. Thank you very much. I also want to give a shout out to our DPW Monday night's storm we had Monday night into Tuesday. Before the storm, they turned around, they checked all the drains. They had everything like triple checked because we knew the weather was going to get bad. I just want to give a shout out to them. Great job. They actually had no complaints to DPW on Tuesday.
Wow.
So, yeah,
That's pretty good.
surprisingly, because you know there's always that one person that's going to call and complain.
Yeah.
But I just want to give a shout out to our DPW, Joni, Mike, the group. Great job. That's it, Mayor.
We're
Thank
getting
you.
better. I saw, I believe it was on Facebook that the doc is doing something with the movie, and could you explain that to us?
That was Superman.
That was it, it passed already?
Superman, yeah.
And that's what you would, okay.
Yeah, because we had everybody, we had the pre-party. You know, they got their pizza, a lot of giveaways. We had like 80 people, and then everybody went over to the Hawthorne, because he actually rented out the movie theater, and everybody went there, and it was great. I mean, I didn't go see the movie because it's for the veterans, you know, but everybody had a great time. They really did. Doc's doing a great job.
Innovating, I love it. Okay, let's see. Councilman Fasola.
Progress, Mayor.
Councilman Golubek.
Thank you, Mayor. I just want to address the residents of Rosemont that came out to speak tonight, and particularly those that are still here. Thank you for getting up and speaking. It's, you know, it doesn't happen very often that the council chambers get packed and people express themselves. In hindsight, the borough should have done more to educate you that this was happening. Ultimately, at the end of the day, where this ends up is another story, but I recognize that as a councilman, that there was more that could have been done. I have no doubt that the officer that was charged with this went to every home. I have no doubt that that was executed. I'm not even questioning that, and I don't take too much, and I never got it kind of thing. I get stuff from the town too that I sometimes don't even fully open, and I'm up here. So it's just, we live in this world now where we get so much clutter and crap that we sometimes we miss the important things. But I think more communication has to happen. I recall, and this is, I mean, we're going over 10 years ago, when the alternate side was put into place, it was some residents of Rosemont. I can't get in and out of my driveway. I can't do this. I can't do that. That was a compromise to issues from residents, and it's been there. It's been in place. Very clearly, there's an issue on Florence Place. I don't think many people could dispute that. I think our challenge now is, how do we fix that problem without inconveniencing and annoying the rest of the neighborhood? Kind of feel like most people feel that way, and we'll be working hard to achieve that. What that will look like, I don't know, because no one's been able to figure this out, for decades now. But that's what we're here for. So I appreciate those that came on this subject, and until the next meeting. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Sampson.
Yes, Mayor. So last Wednesday, I attended the planning board meeting here. The subject that we discussed was redevelopment of a commercial warehouse on Slater Drive. This building was built in the 70s, and it was originally built for the JVC Television or Electronics Corporation. It was most recently occupied by a laboratory company, and the building is in complete and total disrepair, and it is beyond any kind of renovations. So this, it's going to replace that building is going to require the creation of a redevelopment zone for that specific area, and I'm very aware of the implications of that, and we have to really do all our homework and really pay attention to creating that zone and what's going to go in that zone. And Mayor, I'm on it, as you know, and we're going to work together as a council and a planning board to make sure the right thing is done there. Linda C., thank you. Linda Colombini, as always, and everybody else. If you like going to casinos and you're available during the day, see Linda. She has the next trip on 7/25. It's the fourth Friday of the month every month, and we have a great time. So it's a great trip, and it's for a good cause, as you could see. The evidence of that was tonight. So my other associations that I'm involved in, the ARP meeting, the seniors met last Thursday. We had a good presentation by Hans. He's actually the branch manager here for Bank of America, and he's also involved in bank fraud and senior scam detection and prevention. So it was a very, insightful and informative afternoon, and it was very good for our residents and just over 60 attendees. Our Elks Lodge here at 192 Market, right next door. Our Sunday breakfast, the next one will be held on August 3rd. It's $10, the best breakfast you're going to have. I know Dan cooks, I cook, a lot of us all work together, Pam, Terry, we see, and we all have a good time. So we have a good time, we feed a lot of people, and it's for a great cause. Mayor, other than that, progress, and thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. And getting back to that issue with the planning board, Eric, I think to be wise, we got to insist that there's no housing involved in that.
Amongst other things, in truck traffic, like I said, there's a lot of homework that we have to do and a lot of investigation information that we need to get.
Elmwood Park has, I would think, sufficient amount of rental properties in terms of apartments. Council President Pellegrin.
Yes. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mayor. Our Youth Police Academy 2025 will start on Monday, August 18th through August 29th. Tomorrow, July 18th, is the last day you can sign up through our Community Pass website. For any questions, comments, or concern, please email Officer Rivera at jrivera@elmwoodparknj.us. National Night Out will be held on Tuesday, August 5th, location Borough Hall, start time 6 p.m. Free barbecue by our Elmwood Park PD. Come meet and get to know Elmwood Park's finest. Then at 7:30 p.m., our concert series begins, performance by Daybreak, a tribute to Barry Manilow. Now I'd like to share some good news about Chief Feligno. We had our department head meeting today, and as a lot of you know, the chief has been going through a lot with, he had cancer, and today we had the great news, and we're very blessed to know that the chief is now cancer-free. Yeah. The chief has been very transparent with all he has been going through, and it's been several months, and he has been to work every day. He has fulfilled his duties, and we are so, so glad and thankful to God that he is okay. So, Chief, we love you, and we're glad that you're cancer-free. And on to my Board of Health. The next meeting will be held on August 11th at 7 p.m. All are welcome to attend. Location is Borough Hall. The new Elmwood Park Chamber of Commerce next meeting will be on August 19th at 6:30 p.m. at our local VFW. They will be celebrating their first-year anniversary. Their next event will be Best Pizza Contest. Save the date, September 30th. All details will be posted soon. For any questions on the chamber, call 551-500-7810 or go to their website at info@elmwoodparkchamber.org. Lastly, a big thank you to Linda Colombini and the Homeowners Association for all they contribute to our community. The new community garden, led by Councilwoman Troisi, will be a great addition for our residents. I'm looking forward to seeing our new garden come to life. Progress, Mayor. And if I could just say one more thing to add to Councilman Gulabek's comment. We're glad that the residents came and voiced your opinion on the residents' parking. We appreciate that. We're always willing to listen. Sometimes we can do things better. And, you know, that's why we're here. We're here for you. We're here to listen to your concerns. I didn't like one comment from one of the residents when she said we don't care. We do care. We don't do this job because we don't care. Okay? Is anybody up here perfect? Is anybody out there perfect? No. But we try our best to resolve problems. And sometimes it's a juggling act. You make some happy, you make some very unhappy, right? So the right thing to do, this is the forum where you're supposed to come and voice your opinion. And the mayor and council never stops anybody from voicing their opinion. Sometimes what we get mad at, or I should speak for myself, is when somebody tells me I don't care. Okay, we put a lot of hours into this. Yes, you elect us. We care. That's why we do this job. It's not for the money, okay? So that's why we do this. So I just don't appreciate comments that we don't care, because we do care. And you coming to these meetings when there's a concern truly makes a difference. You can see it was tabled. We'll go back to the drawing board. We'll see if we can make both sides happy and see if we can get this resolved. So your voices were heard, and we will work on this, and hopefully we come to an agreement that we can all live with and be happy with. Thank you for coming again, and thank you, Mayor.
Very well said, Lorraine. That's a topic that Florence Place and Route 4, that's been an issue, has been said here for 25 years. The 25 years I've been here has always been an issue. And we're looking for the perfect fit. There was a push on this ordinance here brought it to this point, but the great part of this country and our system is that you're allowed to speak. As Lorraine had said, you're allowed to bring your voice forward, and it counts. What was the outcome of this evening? That ordinance was stopped, dead in its tracks. It's going back to the drawing board. We're going to have to analyze it, reconsider it, and your opinions tonight brought us to that conclusion. And to Lorraine's point, we do care. There's 1,000 other things we could be doing sitting on a Thursday evening other than this, but we love it, and that's why, well, I don't know if we love it, but we like it very much, so we do care, to your point, Lorraine. With that said, I think we should have a motion to open to the public. Anyone from the public here to speak on any subject they want to? You're not isolated just to one. In the microphone, please.
Can you turn on the mic and then state your name and address, please?
Oh, okay. You her sister?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you want to pass that out?
Yeah,
go ahead.
we're
Yeah,
gonna
go ahead.
pass it out.
Take the mic down, dear. Bend it down.
Down? Okay.
Yeah.
Better?
Yeah, that's better.
We've been having a big problem. It started last year when the property was sold. And you'll see in our portfolio the problem. They're very disruptive of the neighborhood.
This is Route 46, where the old Victorian used to be?
Drive. 63.
Oh, okay,
Birchwood Drive.
okay.
It's 63 Birchwood.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I think this pamphlet that our neighborhood put together is very informative, and it should be addressed. It's becoming not only a nuisance and a disturbance, but also a health issue. They have a let
me give him a little background.
Yeah, go ahead, yeah.
To give you a little background, Chief Foligno is already aware. I'm
In
sorry.
the mic,
To
dear.
give you a little
Don't be
background, the
afraid of that
chief is
mic.
already aware. The woman who owns the home at 63 Birchwood has been renting her pool out, which is against Municipal Code Chapter 18-8 through 10. And she advertised it on a Swimply.com. She's had several times Lenny, who lives right next door to her, he's had to call the police several times because they have parties. The other day, a few weeks ago, it was till 3 o'clock in the morning, and the chief has sent people out there many times, and their hands are tied because the ordinance isn't very clear, because she has a porta potty in her driveway.
Wow.
And the building department, from what we understand, normal code in most towns are you have to have a permit for a porta potty.
Right.
And it's not clear in our municipal code.
So just to cut you
and
off,
I know
that
you-
was actually one of the ordinance that was the first reading tonight.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. I understand that it's coming up on the August 21st meeting, I believe was read. So we understand that that's already being addressed. But as far as the police officers, their hands are tied because the code, as far as the rentals and deciphering, is it a rental? Is it, because she told the police the first time, oh, they're my guests. And they weren't, because we have the advertisement from Swimply showing that she actually rented it, and it shows that she rented it. So it was like us against her, but the police can only do so much. But as far as these advertisements on these websites, is there any way that the town attorney can notify the ones that we're aware of that, hey, don't let people post on your website for this particular borough because it's not allowed, it's illegal?
Mayor, can I address
Yes,
that? So,
please.
thank you for coming. So as I have the email here, as of Monday, we issued 4 summonses to them already. We have been in touch with Swimply, and we asked them to remove it.
And they did,
Yep.
yeah.
And they did take it down. I don't know how she keeps getting it put back up. But she's been told, she was given a cease and desist letter. She's been issued 4 summonses. She doesn't seem to care.
No, she's
So we have to get her before the judge. I already instructed the prosecutor to please consider, because sometimes these get merged into one violation. for the court to move things along. I already told them the backstory and asked the prosecutor to let the judge consider having them as all standalone violations. And we will continue to issue summonses as the violations occur. I mean, I can tell you this, we had one of these last year and the year before. They don't go away easily because they make a lot of money and they're willing to pay the fines.
Right.
So bear with us. We will issue summonses every single time.
But according to municipal code, it says the first summons is, I believe, $1,000. The second one is $1,250. The third is possibly removal of certificate of occupancy, 90 days in jail, and $1,250. She's already had how many summons?
Well, none of them went to court yet.
Yeah, so, I mean, the police have been there so many times just in the past few weeks, and you could see how many reviews she had, so you know she had multiple parties already that are recorded
Into the morning hours.
Yep.
I mean, very disturbing.
So I think our municipal code and the laws and the capabilities of the police need to be distinctly outlined with the word shall. So the police shall do A, B, C. How do you verify? How do you do this? How do you do that? So it doesn't keep continuing with the same residents and having to wait until they go to court. And for somebody who had it taped right to her door, we saw the officers tape it right to her door. She just took it off. The first one went in the mailbox. She just never opened her mailbox. There was mail overflowing out of her mailbox to avoid these kind of things. So the ordinances and the codes, the laws, whatever way you want to say it, has to be changed to stipulate that regardless if she decides to not open her mail, this is the first notification that you are breaking the law. This is the second notification when they come back. This is the third, and that counts as you with each fine. It shouldn't have to go in front of a court.
So if I can interrupt you, it does have to go before a court because she still has due process rights. And I know it's frustrating, but the court process is one of the requirements. We can't cut that out. We can't just say you are guilty and therefore you're being charged. The court process is a requirement under the law.
How long do you think that'll take?
Yeah, so I mean, we can't, my wife loves to read. Lenny's son loves to read. They can't even sit out on their back porch to read because the noise from I mean, I know marijuana's legal, but when you have 40 people smoking pot and it comes into your yard and you don't want to be out in your yard because all you smell is, I mean, it's because of the parties.
I'm on Hillman, I'm right on her back
Well,
door.
listen, you seem very astute about the law, but you understand we have to take proper steps.
Of course,
We
the
can't
law is
put-
the law.
We can't put the town in jeopardy and open ourselves up for a suit. On the other hand, we can revisit, correct me if I'm wrong, the ordinance and see if we can put a little more teeth in it. Yeah.
We hear you.
Oh, no, we know.
We feel for you. If I lived there, I'd be losing my mind. We're aware of it. We're on it. We'll do everything we can in our power to make sure that this gets handled appropriately. And, you know, like I said before, we just ask for your patience. I know that's hard to ask when it's such a nuisance and a quality of life issue, but we're doing everything we can.
Well, the other issue with this,
No, it's okay.
when she has these big parties, she has numerous bags of garbage. So she only has 2 cans. They're up near the porta potty. And then there's another 10 bags, which you could see if you look through the photos. She just leaves them on the curb for days and days and days. Now, the ordinance says you shouldn't put them out till after, I believe, 5 p.m. the night before. Well, they're there for 4 days sometimes, and there's no can for the bags, so the animals are getting into it and it's getting all over our street. And we're pretty proud of our block. We take care of our property. We keep it very clean. You know, we try to look out for each other. We've even picked up her garbage for her, but now it's to the point where there's copious amounts. It's not fair to us to have to live like that.
Can I ask you,
So
are they
is there any
new
way
to the
that-
neighborhood?
I'm sorry?
Are they new to the neighborhood?
She's been there about 5 years.
Is this
Fi-
something new that's occurring, like with all these other?
No, she's done it before, but we kind of like, okay, she had a baby. You always make excuses for people because you try to be kind.
Right.
You try to be considerate that maybe there's things in their life we don't know about.
Sure.
So you try to help them out. But now it's to the point where she doesn't care about us, but we care about her and we care about our neighborhood. So can they send a notice saying, hey, you need to abide by the code for the trash at least or something?
Yeah, what
just
we'll
to
do is we'll
notify her?
try to get a meeting with them, with some of my command staff and the building department, and see if we could encourage them to, get with the program, I mean, we're going to still issue the summonses, but maybe a sit-down with them would go a long way.
Absolutely, Mike.
Here.
No recycling by her. None. You'll look at every house on my block, and everybody has a blue can. Or two. Hers, all together, thrown in between the road thing. I pick it up. I live next door to her. I got to put up with this, okay? And the other thing is this thing with the Simply, okay? Now that it's off, and I thank you very much for getting that down. There was schedules on Sundays, okay? So this is her new plan of attack, okay? She rents that pool from 3 to 11, knowing after 11 o'clock, it's going to be quiet, okay? And they say, oh, we're friends. Oh, yeah, well, everybody that goes to a barbecue brings their own propane tanks with them, right?
Every time.
No, actually, we even got some of the patrons to send us the information that she told them, instructed them to say that they're family. So we got it. We got all the evidence we need.
Oh.
We're just waiting for it to go to court.
Yep. I mean, I lived there over 50 years.
Yeah.
50 years I lived there. I have never had a neighbor that's disrespect. I welcomed her to the neighborhood when she was pregnant. I carried strollers and friggin' bassinets, groceries, and cribs into the house for her. And this is what I get. The other thing is, the neighbor next door to her on the other side, that family just moved here.
Yeah. They didn't know.
They just moved. Can you imagine moving next to that?
He's a nice guy, too.
What do you think they're going to say about Elmwood Park?
Well, I could assure you that, first of all, we're aware of it. We're on top
Oh, I
of
know
it.
you're
And we
aware
will
of it.
continue. Please call every time it happens. And
Yeah, you want us to keep calling?
yes.
She threw a water bottle at
No,
us.
call me. Call us.
The cop was right there.
Call
I
us.
saw it.
Every,
I asked over the fence, I said, can you please at least tone it down?
if they throw lint on the street, call us. Call us for everything.
The last big party she had, this is the straw that brought the chaos back. I woke up the next morning. I found cups. I found people throwing up in between my car and my house. I'm like, I gotta wash this down. She flushes her pool filter. I don't think she's doing it right because you gotta see the white mark that goes all the way down the block all the time. Okay? I gotta smell this porta potty now. It's been there over a month.
Yeah, 2 months.
The other thing is I want to bring up, and this is like the first thing, is that she has a retaining wall, and I have pictures of it. I'm trying to get somebody from the building department to come. Now, I'm not going to mention any names, but I know people in the building department, okay? And we're friends, and I don't know if they just forget or whatever, but I'm getting runoff from her house. I know numerous times she doesn't have permits for work that she's done. Okay? I know she raised the elevation in her backyard around the pool with pavers again, because it was concrete and raised. I'm getting all her water run up. There's no gutters on her house. My basement gets flooded every time we have a heavy rain. I mean...
Tell me your address again.
67 Birchwood.
You're 67. All right, well, I'll get the building department out there, all right?
Tell them, here if you want to give, Tony, I don't know if Tony's back.
He is.
If you want to give them the pictures of, they say retaining wall or landscape wall, whatever it is, but that's what's falling apart. And the other thing is termites. I had to call Terminex in for termites because you could see the termites swarming into it.
That's her wall.
That's her wall up against my fence. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's
really,
I take everybody in the neighborhood is the nicest people you want to meet.
Yeah.
And everybody likes their stuff neat. And there's, like I said,
Miss John being there, Harris.
I know John very well. I knew his whole family. Johnny lived across the street from me.
I know where he's at in Connecticut.
I know where he is in Manhattan.
I go by it all the time.
We got you.
One more thing too is when she has all these parties or even invites other people over, they get out of their cars and you can see it in the pictures. They're on his property. They're standing on his front lawn.
Yeah, it's a mess.
Like, there's a picture, there's like 8 of them on the front lawn. He's probably looking at it right now. And it's disregard of anybody else, disrespectful, and she doesn't care. So like you said, you know,
It's
going to
not really
court.
that. These people rent this.
He has a
pool.
liability
They
for
don't
that, though,
have
if they get hurt.
Any clue of what?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
They don't care about what they're doing
Look,
either.
I see them walk because there's 4 cars in their driveway, so they'll walk over to my property, walk on my sidewalk, and walk down my driveway because they're single cars, and go down. I mean, just leave and be quiet. You know?
Whenever anything's going on there, call us. Please call us so we know. All right? Bill, Lieutenant Woods is going to talk to you guys on the way out,
Yeah.
just to get some more info, and we'll take care of it.
Thank you for
Billy?
listening.
All the,
I
you
was
are.
lieutenant.
all the power we have, we will put into force. Yes, Gladys. How are you?
Gladys Griskowitz, 256 Fensack Avenue. I just wanted to know if this was just happening in my area or a lot of other areas. In the last, I'd say, month, and actually 2 incidents in the last week, I had a man, an older man, he was sitting on everyone's property, you know, and he looked funny to me, so I called the cops. I don't really like to call the cops, but I called the cops, and he actually passed out. They had to take him away by ambulance. I don't know what happened to him. But then Monday, I'm driving from my house. I made a left towards Market Street. There's a dentist, and then there's the overpass. And like right before the overpass, there's a split level with a nice piece of grass. And there was a guy, an older man, you know, he had a cardboard box under his head, and he was asleep. So Dana looked at me. I says, I'm not going to call the cops. You know, it's hot. You know, so when I came back, there were 4 cop cars and an ambulance taking him away. And then my sister was gardening. Thank God my husband was out, because we're diagonal where we live. And this guy, and I watched him on the camera, he kept walking back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So my husband, I didn't know if he noticed, but he did. This guy came right up to my sister's top stairs and said, do you have money? So my husband went right over, and as soon as my husband went over, he took off. So, you know, I'm 3 blocks in from 46th New Jersey Transit bus. Like, I don't know if they're just getting off here, or are there a lot of transient people in this neighborhood now? Because it's, you know, Fensack, you know, you can get out the back to 46. It's like, it's a prime area for crime. I know the 7-Eleven's been held up many times. But I'm just concerned because, like, I don't feel comfortable going out anymore. Like, I have a metal pipe that when I do my gardening, because, you know, you get up, you look around and there's someone's right on top of you. Now, like today, it's 100 degrees and there's a guy riding a bicycle with a thick black hoodie. I couldn't see his face. You know, so that's suspicious to me. So what I'm asking, I guess, maybe, is to have a little bit more
Patrolling.
Police patrolling around during the day. Not so much at night, but during the day.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
Point well taken, Gladys. Anyone else care to speak? If not, I will close the public portion. And then I think a motion to go in executive. And I will request a motion to go into executive.
What's on executive?
Well, once we get there, we'll find out.
Well, usually for the public, you announce, so I'm inquiring.
Executive,
Attorney-client. Attorney-client? I think it was the question that you raised on the email. So attorney-client with respect to, I guess, conflicts of interest, characterization.
So move.
need a second? Second. All in favor? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a heck of a night.
Whereas the Open Public Meeting Act, PL 1975, Chapter 231, permits the exclusion of the public from the meeting in certain circumstances, and whereas this public body is of the opinion that such circumstances presently exist, and whereas the governing body wishes to discuss attorney-client privileged information. Minutes will be kept, and once the matter involving the confidentiality of the above no longer requires the confidentiality, then the minutes can be made public. Now therefore be resolved that the public be excluded from this meeting.
You can press stop.